Okay, today we're going to be going over 10 high-powered, great-performing fall fragrance clones. I've done my top 10 fall designer fragrances list. I've done a, great performing fall fragrance video. Both of those are revolving around scents that are on the pricier end, still designer level, designer price, but a lot of those can be ranging from $60 to $100. And in the grand scheme of things, and especially in today's market, that's not horrendous, but you still may be on a budget. You want to try to get away with spending less and getting more. That's where clones come in. And love it or hate it, man, clones have really been taking over here lately. And there are a few brands out there in particular that have just been putting out banger after banger. And it's almost like when you see a new release from them, you can tell what they're cloning and you can look at it and go, you know what? I bet that is really, really close and just about spot on. I know for me, that's how it's been. I end up getting it in the mail, trying it, and it checks out. We'll kind of go over these brands and kind of what I'm talking about here as we work our way into them. But now is a crazy time. Clones have never been this good. I can remember when I got started going on 7 years ago, there were clones out there, of course, but nowhere near this level. Like, it is crazy now, and it's been that way for the past couple of years. It's really been ramping up. And so anymore, you don't have to be dropping as much money as you think in order to smell good and to, experience the hype of certain things, because for a lot of those hyped up scents that you hear about all the time, there's probably a really good clone out there for a fraction of the price. So we're going to go through these today, a bunch of clones here, great releases that all have great performance. And the trend for these in terms of pricing is mid $30 range. Some are a bit less, some are maybe a little bit more, but kind of right there around $35, $37 for a lot of these. Great price. Okay, also, you can't buy these at retailers. You can't walk into your Macy's or Ulta or Sephora and get these. You got to go through discounters. I'll link them all down below, okay? If any are sold out or hard to get right now, jump on my mailing list and texting list, and when those do come in stock, I will hook you up with an email alert and a text alert, and you'll be able to get it. Same with any other rare fragrance or great sale that you can think of. That is the place to be. Now let's get started with Fragrance World Suits, and I'll go ahead and say it. This is one of the clone brands that have just been bringing the heat lately. They've been going straight for the throat of these designer and niche brands, and in particular, with this clone house here, the presentation, as you'll kind of see the trend here when I feature some more of these, not only are they cloning the scent, they're cloning the presentation. If you couldn't already tell and haven't heard of this, it's a clone of YSL Tuxedo. Tuxedo's $250. When this is in stock, again, you're looking at mid-30s. So I really like that they do this in terms of the bottle presentation. And the reason why is because I think something that puts a lot of people off, especially beginners to clones, is the presentation. I know for me, when I first started collecting, I was heavily influenced by presentation. And it wasn't even with clones. Again, there weren't that many. But designer fragrances, even niche, if the bottle wasn't something that I liked the look of, oftentimes I would put off buying it, which is stupid. And I agree, it was stupid and it sounds dumb. But in the beginning stages, that's how I was. And I think a lot of beginners kind of fall in that trap too. You want the magnetic cap, you want the sleek looking bottle, you want that premium feel and look. And if it doesn't have it, you write it off. I don't think twice about presentation anymore. I just buy it if it looks good, the scent that is. But that's how I was in the beginning. And so when you see these tacky, god-awful looking clone bottles, you might want nothing to do with them. Brands like Fragrance World are taking that into consideration, and they're cloning the actual bottle, which oftentimes, coming from big designer brands, looks presentable. And so this doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. In fact, it really blends in with probably the aesthetic of your collection if you have a lot of designers. And so yeah, YSL Tuxedo, it's a patchouli, spicy scent. It smells great. I love the DNA. It is one of the most fall-smelling fragrance DNAs I have ever encountered. You could go for a whole bunch of other clones as well. You could go for, Alhambra the Tux. You could go for Afnan Tarathi Brown. You could go for Rokas Mustache EDP, which is a little bit of a twist. A lot of options out there. This is one that I really like. Next up, we have Salvo Elixir by Maison Alhambra, and this is a clone of Sauvage Elixir, if you couldn't tell. So there's this, there's LATTAFA Assad, you know, so technically from the same brand here. And Assad was first, at least as in terms of getting hype. It was the first like Sauvage Elixir clone to really hit the market and be readily available on discounters, and something that you could scoop up for 25 bucks. That was the first one. And so that's the one that got the most hype initially. Now, what's the difference between the two? Really, it's presentation. Like I said, Maison Alhambra is also LATTAFA, says so on the presentation on the bottle, and things like that. So the scent is pretty much the same. You're just getting a bottle that looks more like Sauvage than the weird Assad bottle. And so it comes down to whichever one you can get for a better price, or whichever presentation you like better. If you are influenced by the look of the bottle, go for this. If you want to look somewhat similar to Sauvage, if you don't care, you can go for Assad. One thing I want to point out here is, and it doesn't say on the bottle, but this is not a 100 milliliter bottle. So what they have done is you get a full 100 ml look, but the glass ends right here. I don't know if you could see that, but like there's a little hoop. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see if I do that right there. So all of this here is just pure thick glass and dead space. So you don't get as much as meets the eye, similar to Sauvage Elixir. And so yeah, great clone of that one. Very warm, spicy, and woody. It's perfect for fall and great performance. Next up, we have LATTAFA KHAMRAH. It's all about the dates, the praline, the vanilla, tonka, and all of that stuff. A heavily sweet scent, which is somewhat similar to Killian's Angel's Share. Not 100%, and there are some clones out there that are closer. This one, the reason why I like it is because it is a little bit of a twist. You know, it kind of doubles down on the sweetness, has maybe less of a boozy character, so depending on what you're into, if you don't like as much of that in Angel Share, you could go for this, where it's sweeter, but not super heavy-handed on the booze notes. But make no mistake, it is an incredibly sweet and syrupy, cloying scent. You know, it's not for everybody. It's not something that is inherently masculine, so that's another thing to look out for. It's completely the opposite of something like Sauvage Elixir and things that smell similar to it. So make sure you're aware of that. Gourmand leaning, sweet, loud, strong, more playful, so to speak, but great for the season of fall. The performance will really help it cut through the cold air, the chilly mornings and evenings of fall. Great one. Next up, we have FOMO Illusion d'un Soir. So this one is heavily inspired by MFK Grand Soir, which is an absolutely beautiful, remarkable amber and vanilla scent. So this one, it's got some benzoin, vanilla, and even a little bit of tobacco. So there's a nice little twist, and something I would say, if you're after Grand Soir but on a budget, you could go for this one, and you're really going to get close to that DNA. And when it comes down to it, you know, there's a lot of clones of BR540, both the EDP and the Extrait, things like that. I don't really know of too many clones of Grand Soir, and so this one really puts you close on that ballpark. Smells amazing. Love this stuff. So heavy and rich and decadent and creamy. The vanilla benzoin combo is a classic. A little hint of tobacco in here, not too strong. Nice dusty, powdery. It's beautiful. I love this DNA, and they did a great job of really pinpointing that and getting it down in this one. In terms of price, I want to say it's 30-ish, right around $30. And I know the FOMO brand is going to be restocking soon. I don't know when you're seeing this video. Yeah, I don't know. So it's either going to be in a couple days it's restocking, or it already has and it's available now, depending on when this video goes up. But right around in that time frame I'm shooting for. So if it's not up yet, jump on my mailing list, texting list. I'll send out a notification when they restock. And if not, you can just go over there and check it out now. These sold out pretty quick last time, so make sure you jump in there and get it when you have the chance. They also have inspiration of DETOUR and PARFUM and Elysium as well. So check those out. They're all really good. And just like everything in this video, by the way, I did purchase all of these myself. Paid for them with my own money. A lot of them I did buy through Fragrance Buy, because generally they get the clones in first and fastest and for the best prices. Okay, up next, Fragrance World REINHEIT Parfum. Oh man, you know, Fahrenheit Parfum. It's, like I said, it's crazy, you know, but this is kind of cool. yeah, from an ethical standpoint, and you know, people are going to have their takes on the clones in general, and this is like another dig of like, oh, now they're not only cloning the scent, but also the presentation is what it is. We kind of live in a get your own type of world. You know, people are going to do it, is what it is. It's just one of those things. And at the end of the day, with everyone being in different financial circumstances and with the prices of new fragrance releases rising year over year, like look at all the elixirs coming out this year, designer releases that are going for $150+. It's nice to be able to save where you can. And so Fahrenheit Parfum is like $115 to $120 on discounters for like a 75 ml bottle. Again, they don't list the size on these on the sticker, but I believe it's around a 75. Doesn't quite look like 100, but I could be wrong. But you're looking at around mid-30s again for this. Somewhere right around in there, standard pricing. So big spread in price, and a great clone of Fahrenheit Le Parfum. It has the ozonic, you know, clean violet leaf smell, but with a nice dose of rum booziness in here and some suede leather going on as well. Smells awesome. I love the DNA. I love Fahrenheit Le Parfum. Now it's in stock pretty much everywhere. If you want the real one, you can grab it. Basically, your favorite discounter right now probably has it in stock. FragranceNet, FragranceBuy, they've got them. In terms of, you know, if that's going to stay the case forever, I don't know. Oftentimes they are sold out. And so this gives you an option that's more affordable, and hopefully over the course of, you know, several months or maybe even years, this will be easier to pull off and be able to purchase overall. But I think this DNA is great for fall. What I love so much about this scent in the fall is it's fresh and sweet. And fall, it's such a difficult time of year, autumn, because it's like in the morning when you're getting up to go to work, it's cold. Got a sweatshirt on. And in the middle of the day, 12, 1, 2 o'clock, now it's sunny and 80. And then, in the evening, maybe when you're getting home from going out, it's cold again. You've got these huge fluctuations. And so something like this with a little bit of fresh and a little bit of sweet works great for this time of year. I love Ultra Male in fall, and so I have to include Afnan's 9 p.m. That's kind of a divisive one. You know, a lot of people are, Ultra Male for winter only, and a lot of people are against Ultra Male altogether, which I can understand. It's very sweet, going back to that, not your typical masculine scent. This one is still following that. Instead of pear for the fruitiness, they're using apple. But you still get the cinnamon, all the sweetness, the vanilla tonka, that sort of thing. Very close to Ultra Male. Definitely nails that sweetness. Something to be aware of. And I don't know why I prefer this one in fall. I just do. To me, it's so playful. It is like the epitome of just a young, fun, not having a care in the world type of scent for the cooler times of the year. Maybe it's the fruity cinnamon nature that this one gives off that just kind of feels more like that fall scent. And then usually in winter, I'm really getting into the heavy tobaccos and things like that. I don't know what it is, but I really like this one. It'll work great for fall. Maybe fall evenings, just because of how sweet it is. You don't want to be caught on a 80-degree fall day with this one on. Might not be the best choice, but you got to do what you got to do. Next up, we have Moonlit Night, the one and only, or backup. What is it? Oh boy, I think it's a Fragrance World. Yeah, Fragrance World, the one and only Moonlit Night. So that is the one thing, these clones get confusing, really start to trip you up. That's what it is. And as you probably can tell, and I was super pumped to see this, it is a clone of Luminous Night. I've already covered this in depth in a full standalone video, but it really is Luminous Night. And again, I'm happy to see that because it has been now several months since Luminous has popped up. That was one that pretty much from the beginning was hard to get. Usually new releases will come out at least for a little while and you can pick them up. But even when it was brand new, I was having to pull some strings to purchase that one and feature it. And ever since then, it's been tough. So a lot of you guys probably haven't had the best chance of getting it. And I've been raving on and on about it because it is so good. And now you finally got a clone that is right around, I believe it's $37 or so. That's very close. It's got dates in here, some sandalwood, amber, a little bit of cardamom. It's got the Dolce & Gabbana, the one amber forward DNA with not really too much of a Middle Eastern smell, but a little bit more of a unique twist to give it that edge and to make it more of a, kind of a, exclusive edition type of scent. Something that's a little bit out of the mainstream mass market, but not too far where it's hard to pull off. And it's one of my favorites. It really is a shame that the original, or the real deal, I should say, is so hard to get. But being able to grab this one for a great price really kind of makes me not feel as bad about it. Got to go for a latent clone with ALHAMBRA DETOUR Noir. Love this one as well. One of the best latent clones on the market. Great performance out of it, and $29 to $30 for this, and get you super close. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more money and get even more of a premium clone with great performance, you could go for Amber Oud Exclusive Blue, but it's not fully necessary. I love that one. I've talked about it highly as well. And like I said, if money's not, too bad of an option, but you don't want to go with real latent, and you want more of a premium feel, a better looking presentation, although that is subjective in my personal opinion, Amber Oud Exclusive Blue is the way to go. It's a little bit higher quality, still has a great performance, all of that stuff, a little bit more smooth. But this one for $30, $29 is cheapy price, but delivers big time. And also, the bottle doesn't look great, weird, funky shape, and also the lettering is not something that's going to be resilient. And this is not me abusing my bottles. It's simply just from it getting bumped up against other bottles in my collection. That's all it really takes. It's not a big deal. I could not care less about that, but it's something to point out. Maybe that would bother you. But I think for this price, I really can't complain. Most of you probably wouldn't either. Under $30, you get a latent clone that is super close. Sign me up. Love this DNA for fall. The apple, vanilla, cinnamon, tonka, it's amazing. Super excited to see this one as well. Paris Corner Cherry Cola. And yes, it is what it sounds like. And this is the Mancera clone line in terms of the bottles. And it checks out. It's Tonka Cola. Tonka Cola, but a little bit more smooth, actually. A little bit less Mancera-y. It's kind of how I look at it. Sometimes Manceras have a little bit more of a grit to them. Not this one. A little bit more fresh, too. So not 100% Tonka Cola, but very close, and probably going to be one of the closer clones out there. This is the only one that I know of and that I've tried so far. But they do get it down so good that I couldn't really see you having too many issues with it and wanting to get another one unless you just want to check another one out when they come out, like I will be doing. Because I got to admit, even though I already have a clone of this, even though I already have the real deal, when another Tonka Cola clone comes out, I'm going to be buying it just because it's fun. It's fun to see how close these brands get and how they differentiate between each other. And I'd like to see the presentation as well. But yeah, great one here, 75 ml. And price I can't remember for sure. But again, it's going to be right around where I've been saying. It might be 37 as well, or 34 is what it is. $34, 75 ml. Great price. Straight concentration on this one. Again, we're talking Paris Corner. It's the Amir line. They have a Cedrat Boisé clone and Instant Crush clone as well, and Red Tobacco. All of that within this line. Bottles that look like this. So yeah, this is perfect for fall. Great performance. Great quality for the price. Good one. And we're going to finish things off with Starmin Nebula by Fragrance World. Yeah, they've been all over the board. And like I said, this is the brand that's just been doing craziness. And this one, I can't really feel too bad about being, mean because they're cloning something, because it's a discontinued fragrance clone, or what they're cloning is discontinued. And it's Mugler's Pure Malt. So this isn't, you can still buy this on, Fragrance Buy, but Pure Malt is discontinued and has been for a while. So it's got that booziness, that sweetness that you come to love from Pure Malt. Sad to see that one go. That was one of their best ones. I would say that and Pure Havane were amazing. Ultra Zest, really good. But, that's just kind of how it goes. And so this one is very similar to that at about same price as all of the others, that mid $30 range. Great performance out of it. Something unique because people aren't going to be wearing this DNA because it's not around anymore. You can't buy it. Great way to stand out for a low cost. Alrighty guys, there you go. Some high performance fragrance clones for fall 23. Links will be down below. Now is the time to be shopping for some fragrances. Get on my mailing list and texting list now through the end of the year. Some great stuff is going to be coming up you don't want to miss. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.